Välkommen alla sammen, coming at you from a rooftop today. Why the hell am I on a rooftop? Well, just a second and I'll tell you. I'm doing some divination, and this was sitting on a rooftop. This act of sitting on a rooftop has been popular throughout the ages in Scandinavia and folk magic tradition. They would go out on the rooftops, sit, and they would do their divination from there. But where does it come from? People were puzzled by this for a long time. Is it a Christian ritual? Is it a pagan ritual? So we have records of these things from the 1700s and 1800s in Scandinavia, which is long after the time that Scandinavia became Christian. So most people, when things like that happen, they just assume that it's Christian, and that's a stupid thing to do, of course, because a lot of these things have pagan origin. Some of them we can't prove, but some of them we can. And this one is a perfect example because we actually have a couple records of this from very, very ancient times, so it seems to be a very ancient ritual. So one of them comes from the Burchard of Worms. He was a German bishop in the city of Worms, and it was his job to basically make the Saxons there, who were just newly Christianized, it was his job to make them act like Christians. So he wrote a bunch of penance books, and in one of them it forbids this practice of sitting out on a rooftop to practice divination. So absolutely 100% a pagan ritual. That record is from about the 900s. But we have one that is much, much older than that. And this one comes from a Spanish monk who was in charge of Christianizing the Alemanni, a Germanic tribe in kind of central Germany area, or a little bit northwestern. So he also writes about this, but this was in the 600s. So this is an incredibly ancient tradition, Germanic tradition for divination, for the purpose. So that's what you do. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting up here on this roof, and I'm in a park right now. The reason I'm in a park, this would traditionally be done in the home, sitting on top of your house, if you lived someplace in nature. And of course that would be ideal, but I don't live someplace in nature. There are buildings everywhere. So I choose this place in the park because, you know, this is just my opinion. This is just what I've found. Parks would be a place where the spirits congregate. You're not going to find them in the streets of Los Angeles where I'm living now. So parks really makes a lot of sense if you're going to do any spiritual practices like that, and you're not very close to anywhere in nature like I am. So also, whenever I dream, whenever I'm taking a trip into the spirit world, whatever you want to call it, a different realm, the dream world, the spirit world, DMT world, whatever, another dimension, probably 5 times out of 10 I somehow end up in this park because, you know, this is just a central place. So that's just my theory. If you're living in a place with a park, you can do that, but ideally you could sit up on your own house. But I can't do that when I'm at here, so that's why I'm just doing it in this crappy little tool shed in the park. So I'm waiting until the lights go out, and that's it. The ancient books don't exactly tell us how to do this. All it says is that the pagans would sit up on a rooftop in order to practice their divination. So we don't really know how it was. We're not given a specific instructional, but I just meditate. It probably works. Wait till the lights go out, wait till it gets quiet, wait till the people leave, sit up here, meditate. I might do some breathing exercises too, which I'll go into in another video, which helps bring the DMT out, or it's supposed to. That's a yoga practice, so I might go over that in another video. Just be careful when you're on a rooftop because you don't want to pass out and roll off this thing. So that's all I'll have to say for this video. An ancient pagan tradition, but very easy to do some divination. Also, I'll make a note that it's always has to do with fasting. If you fast, then that always will help with divination. We have also a lot of records of that from pagan times, from Christian priests and monks trying to Christianize the Germanic people. So I did another video about that, and that will be in the link in the description below. Fasting and paganism. And that's it for today. Vi ses nästa gång. Hey everybody, I just finished. I wanted to say one more thing. I sat out there for about an hour after the lights went out. Nowhere in any of the Norse sources or Germanic sources or anything like that, nowhere when it has to do with divination is there ever a clear sign that comes to someone. It's always something cryptic. There's no spirit that's gonna come tell you, hey, this is what's gonna happen next week. Do this to be prepared. No. Every time we hear a record of it, every time we read about it, it's always something cryptic. It's always just a sign. It's always something metaphorical. So, and it's your job to determine what that means. So, for example, today, I saw a few different things when I was meditating. I felt a few different things, but the thing that came to me most clearly was on the outskirts of the park I was sitting in. I just saw a woman come out of her house with a bright red jacket, pouring out something into the plants like she didn't need it. I opened my eyes and looked over there. There was no woman. so that was clearly some sort of dreamlike thing coming to me, some sort of sign. So that'll be my job to interpret what that means. I am definitely not a master at this, guys. Don't look to me for these things. Someone who, is advanced in dream interpretation. They're someone who could really, benefit from these divination activities. Because like I said, it's never going to be something coming up to you clear, giving you a clear sign. It's always going to be cryptic, just like our myths. So that's it for today. Vi ses.